All right, so this will be kind of a fun video, a little bit of a different, but I want to talk about, and I'd like to hear from y'all some of the comments. What's your all-time, maybe if you got a channel, maybe do one you're on your own and kind of explain yourself a little bit, but what's your all-time top 5 favorite cars? If you don't have a top 5, you can do your favorite, or if you don't really have a top 5 and you just like a lot of different cars, you explain why. I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite cars. I'm not going to elaborate a lot on color or engine combinations except for a couple because of their importance. But a lot of you know I'm big into first generation Monte Carlos. Growing up, I just knew Dale Earnhardt drove a Monte Carlo when I was a kid. See, I still wear the Earnhardt hat. But don't even watch NASCAR anymore. Just, was always a big Dale Earnhardt fan. But my grandpa bought a 70 Monte Carlo when I was 8 in 1999. And it was shortly had been a one-owner car. I think it was owned about the second owner at the time, or third. And I liked the car, but didn't really give it a lot of thought. It kind of grew on me, and the rest is history. But what I want to talk about is my all-time top favorite cars, and it might surprise you because Monte Carlo is not in that top 5. But you'll understand why when I get done with my list. So, my all-time favorite car, and this has not changed since I was a kid, a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air two-door hardtop. When I was a kid, my grandpa had a four-door 210 sedan, black, and I fell in love with that car, and I always wanted it. He sold it when I was like 5, so that would have been around 1996. It was a straight drive. He had colon surgery like I did several years back, and he couldn't push the clutch in. Looking back, he probably said, but wasn't long after that, he bought the white Monte Carlo, so it probably worked out for the best. But all-time favorite car, 1957 Chevrolet. Fortunately, I'm blessed enough to have one, a green one with green and black interior. Very nice car, great driver. My all-time favorite was a black with a black and red interior, but I love my green one. It's a great driver. I don't have to be so particular like black, like this car here is. And, keep that in mind. So remember, number 1, 57, Bel Air two-door hardtop. Number 2, and I've thought about this, I've tossed it around, and I have to if I don't take rarity and drag racing and all this prestige into consideration, my number 2 is the car I own, 59 Impala flat top. Mine luckily has a 348 engine. It has vintage air, and it's white with red interior, which is the same color as the one on the magazine article I bought several years ago at a swap meet. And I said, I think I'd like to have one of those one day. That was a 5-figure, ended up being a 5-figure mistake, buying that little thing. But anyway, it's all right. 59 Impala flat top. Not a two-door hardtop. I love a two-door hardtop and a convertible, beautiful. But I love that flat top design. That is a timeless design. I like it on all of the GM cars that year. So my number 2, 59 Impala flat top. Number 3, 62 Bel Air, another Bel Air, not an Impala, bubble top. It's a 62 with a 61 top. A lot of you, I should have had a picture I could have showed you, but look up 62 bubble top. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's a 62 Impala that has a 61 top. It's not an Impala, it's a Bel Air trim package. It only has 2 tail lights in the back, has 4 in the back instead of 6, 2 on each side. It has a cheaper interior package, which I love, little squares on the seats. Got a cool looking big round horn button on the steering wheel. Only made about 10,000 that year. I'd love to own one day, which is a big reason why I'm probably going to sell this car in the future. My Monte Carlo SS here to try and go after a 62 bubble top. Or my number 4th car, and that leads me to that, a 59 Cadillac, 2-door hardtop or 4-door hardtop. I don't really care for sedan, 4-door sedan. They didn't make a 2-door post Cadillac. But I've seen flat tops that I really like, and honestly, if I find a flat top that suits me, I would rather have the flat top and even in a Cadillac over the 2-door. that roof line is just awesome. Again, I'm different than most people. My top 4 is probably different than a lot of people's, but that's okay. Number 5. I thought about this, what would be my number 5 car? Well, you start thinking about it, I always like the 62 Impala, but I like the 62 Bel Air the best. I'd have to put a 63 Impala as my number 5. There's a certain blue they had that year I really like. Of course, I'd want it to have not a have to, but it'd be nice if it had a 409, just like the Bel Air. But 62 Impala with the bullets on the front, like a 57 Chevrolet, and beautiful car. I gotta give a 63 Impala would probably be my 5th car. I'm not big on Camaros. I'm not, of course, Ford Mopar don't interest me at all. I like many other A-bodies way better than Chevelles. Cutlass, GS, F85, Skylarks, Vista Cruisers like I'm redoing right now. I like those way better than Chevelles. If you come to see my channel for Chevelles, Camaros, Mustangs, C10 trucks, although I've restored a few for customers, they're just not my thing. I love C10, I love trucks, I love the Chevrolet trucks, but I'm more of a car person, not a truck person. So I could give you my top 5 favorite trucks. I'd have to think about that. I would know I would have to say 68, 72 would probably be my favorite. 69 being particularly, I would have to put up there probably number 1. But now I want to mention some honorable mentions. Behind those top 5, just the cars I really grew up around, that I really love, 50s and 60s, early 60s cars. We have to jump to the honorable mention, which would be a first generation Monte Carlo would be, and if I have to put a group of 3, a body style that they made 3 years, and there's not a lot of cars they made a body style for 3 years. 55, 56, 57, it's not the same body. It's totally different, especially 57. It's a total different car. First generation Camaros, 67 and 8, 69, total different car. Same chassis, but all the parts are totally different. First generation Monte Carlos, the same body style. But that's not why I like them. I just love the lines. I love the interiors. I love the body style. I love the way to ride and drive. So, 57 Chevy, 59 Impala, 62 Bel Air bubble top, number 4, 59 Cadillac, number 5, 63 Impala, square top. An honorable mention, and a close right behind it. I own 3 of these cars. I love them. It's what I enjoy fooling with. I like building these cars more than I like building anything. But as far as just looks, Monte Carlos, honorable mention behind my top 5. Now, not saying if things got tough, I would probably sell off some of my other cars that I like better to be able to keep my first Monte Carlo. Because of the sentimental value of having that car so long, I'd always try to keep it. But otherwise, that's where I'm at. I thought y'all might find this interesting. A few other cars. There are so many other cars that I like. But I'll just be honest with you. Chevelles, Camaros, Novas, Corvairs, insert car or popular car here is not even on close to my radar. People are paying insane money for a 70 Chevelle. Why? Only thing I can say is I'm glad they're paying the crazy money for that pile of junk over my top 5 favorites because I can afford them. A pile of junk Malibu 70s like 10 to 15 grand. It's like, y'all crazy. So anyway, I'm not gonna harp on that, but give me one of my top 5. There, let them keep flying under the radar. Let these keep flying under the radar a little bit. I'm good with that. So anyway, what's your top 5? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Age might have a factor in this. Again, I'm 29. I grew up around these old cars. You'll notice that I actually don't have any of my top 5 in the 80s or the 90s or any of that. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. What would my favorite car be post 1972? 73 to 70, in the 70s, I'd go 73 to 77 Cutlass Supreme 442. Beautiful cars. I like the Kel Yarborough style. They raced. 73 to 77 Cutlass would be my pick of the 70s. In the 80s, Monte Carlo SS, Buick Grand National. Very nice. In the 90s, this might surprise you a little bit. Give me a 91 to 94 Z34 Lumina Dale Earnhardt edition. Black with the burgundy interior, signed by the man himself. I own one. It's not an Earnhardt edition. It's red with gray interior, but I really like the body style. So my 90s car, a Lumina Z34, in my opinion, the prettiest car they made in the 90s. It's a shame they're front wheel drive. With that, we'll see you next time.